Grimmy here, and today we're going to be doing something a little bit different that I haven't actually done on the channel before. I'm actually going to be going on the Dragon Ball Legends Twitter, because there has been a pretty interesting reveal. We're actually going to be seeing Goku Mini be released in Dragon Ball Legends for the premiere of the first episode of Dragon Ball Daima, which is actually pretty interesting, and I think it sparks a little bit of discussion. I think a lot of YouTubers have already beat me to it, but I think I need to put my hat in the ring as well. I need to really show my stuff and see, kind of show off what my opinion on how Daima would affect Dragon Ball Legends. I haven't really been going at it from the Dokkan perspective because we haven't actually seen any news for Dokkan in terms of any Daima related content, so that remains to be seen. Until then, I'm probably going to be doing it from the Legends point of view first. So the Dragon Ball Legends Twitter actually showed off this Goku, this mini Goku, and there's already been a lot of talks of him being a free-to-play character. Starting off, I don't really want to show this, I think you've already seen this before, so it's really pointless to show it again. Yeah, okay, whatever. The card art is actually really cute. I like this. And in terms of the actual model, I do find it a bit strange. I guess the Daima characters are kind of very, chibi-esque, so their heads are unusually large. But generally speaking, their models aren't bad. It's what you have to work with. Sorry, I'm not used to Twitter controls, as you can see here. I don't actually have a Twitter account. I literally looked up Dragon Ball Legends X, and I just went and checked out the first post that popped up and happened to be this. So yeah, we can review the animations very quickly to kind of, we can do a quick analysis, right? So first off, it shows the green card animation right here, fairly obvious, and then I'm pretty sure this is like a special move. Or wait, no, that's actually a strike cover change, most likely. And then here is the Rising Rush pose, very obvious with the aura and the lights and such. Here you can see the strike animation from the Rising Rush, and this is actually the pose that he does before doing an Ultimate Arts, so it's pretty obvious there. Goes for the several punches and whatnot. With the power pole, obviously with the strikes of the power pole, and there we go. And Premiere Countdown, login bonus now available. So that's nothing new. We're already in we already are receiving rewards from the login bonus. So yeah, it's pretty cool to see Goku be most likely a free-to-play character with an Ultimate Arts, because we haven't really seen much of those, but they have been making a bit of a resurgence in the last couple of years. Not years, I guess months is a better way to describe the time frame. So I figured that I wouldn't just talk about Goku. I think I should start with Goku, actually. So this Goku is used as an example. Really often he's used as kind of an example to show off, or not necessarily show off, but compare to Daima Goku how we should expect to see his tags. He's gonna have the kids tag because obviously GT Goku is adult Goku gets turned into a kid, and because that's exactly what happens in Dragon Ball Daima to every single character, then they most likely will be given the exact same treatment. So we're gonna be seeing every single character have, or be a part of the kids tag. So that's not just Goku and Vegeta and Piccolo, but I guess it also includes characters like Master Roshi, Android 18, Krillin, and the such, as Supreme Kai as well, because he's also mini here, even though his size doesn't change much. Moving on. In terms of the tags, right? Vegeta's gonna be on Vegeta Clan, Goku's gonna be on Sun Family, so on and so forth. And in terms of Daima being a tag, I'm not sure if it's gonna be the case, because I don't think Daima's gonna be split up into that many arcs. They only do arc splitting for Z, GT, and Super, and for every other part of Dragon Ball, namely OG Dragon Ball, they just call it Dragon Ball Saga, which is it's fine, but it's indicative of the fact that Daima is probably going to be treated the exact same way, probably just going to be called Dragon Ball Daima as its own episode, and because it's just going to have its own episode, most likely we won't actually see a Daima tag, because if you already have it as an episode, you won't really need to have it as a tag as well. It would just make things a bit overly complicated. So most likely these characters are going to rely on buffing and having their Z abilities. In order for it to be Daima related, they're going to have it centered around an episode rather than a tag. At least that's how I theorize. That's how it'll be. There isn't really much left to change about it. It's going to remain roughly the same. I don't really think a lot of changes will be made. I guess we can kind of speculate with these characters. Goku being, him going back to using the power pole, I do think that he's probably going to be a melee type, this new free-to-play Goku, free-to-play mini Goku. And I do think a character like Mini Vegeta is probably going to be a range type, just because, that's generally how they do it, the general dichotomy. they love to make like a melee character, a melee type character, and then follow it up with a ranged type character, and Goku and Vegeta are the perfect match for that. There's also Glorio, and he's probably going to be ranged type as well, just because he has a gun. Whether or not he's going to be a free-to-play character or not, and this applies for every other character other than Goku, it's kind of up in the air. They could make it into a Mega Rising banner, or I don't know. I don't really think Daima... this is only the start of the anime. We haven't really seen much out of it, so I don't really know if there's going to be anything LF or even Ultra-worthy to come out of the anime. And it's probably going to introduce a lot of new characters and new forms, I guess, for characters that we already are familiar with. On top of that, there's also here, on the Dragon Ball official site, this character is still called Masked Majin. If you watch the dub trailer, the English dub trailer for Dragon Ball Daima, you'll find out that her name's actually Pansy, but because she doesn't really show off any of her abilities, it's kind of up in the air to see whether or not what kind of character she's going to be. Considering that Glorio uses a gun despite being like part of the Majin race in this anime, they may be like demons who don't actually have any kind of magical powers, so who knows, like, this is like very up in the air speculation type stuff that you really can only get into once you watch the anime. You also have Supreme Kai Mini. I don't know if they're gonna make this guy a character. I mean, considering that he has such a prominent role in the trailers, and most likely going to have a prominent role in the actual anime, I do think that they're probably gonna make Supreme Kai Mini into a character. They've already introduced Supreme Kai as like his own character, and so it's like it wouldn't be a total stretch to see them do the mini version of the character, especially if he's going to play an important role in the anime. It's funny because, you know, a Supreme Kai Mini and Supreme Kai, their sizes, their body sizes are basically the same. I don't mean to make fun of like short people, but it's just like, what changed other than like his skin color and his clothing? And there's also going to be Mini Piccolo and Mini everyone, basically. Like I said before, you know, Android 18, Master Roshi, and the such, and like Krillin and who have you. Basically, every single character is going to have a mini version eventually, which is fun, and I guess that's like more content for the game to work with. But how these characters are going to operate, whether or not they're going to, like, it's going to get confusing, because I don't really think, like I said before, this episode is really going to have an LF-worthy character. So it'll be interesting to see how team building is going to go with this specific episode, whether all of the options are going to be viable, or certain characters are going to be more offensive than defensive, and some will be more supports. Like, probably Supreme Kai Mini is probably going to be like a support type, where maybe like a character like Piccolo Mini may actually be a defense type, you know, something like that. And we also have Goma. He's like the really bad guy, where in the dub trailer he goes like, you know, why don't we use the Dragon Balls? And he really reminds me of a character like Babidi, where he's much more of a mastermind in the background. He doesn't really strike me as a character who is going to show up in battle and start beating people up. And so it'll be interesting to see how they implement this character into the story, because we don't actually have a 3D model for Babidi, but we do have like a 2D sprite for the dialogue moments in the game. So who knows, maybe for the Dragon Ball story they may actually treat it the same way with the Goma character, but we'll have to see how they handle that, I suppose. I mean, like, really, that's kind of about it, I guess. Like, we've already gone over, like, the implications, the possible tags and such. It'll be interesting to see, like, a Kid Piccolo, a Kid Vegeta, especially because Legends doesn't actually have a Kid Vegeta, and they'll actually start off with a Vegeta Mini before ever actually having a youth Vegeta, you know? So that's pretty interesting. And there are probably going to be additional forms for Goku, like Super Saiyan and Super Saiyan 2, especially from the trailer where he, like, blocks the like, a laser beam. So we're probably going to see that as an animation, but that's already looking really far into the future, and much of it is really just speculation. But I guess Daima could really introduce a lot of like new interesting characters into the game. In terms of mechanics, like, once again, it's really up in the air. Really curious to see how they handle implementing the characters in the anime into the game, especially for Legends. I mean, we've already seen here that the models, in my opinion, they look kind of wonky, right? If you go back here, I don't know, like, Goku's head is just really big. Like, something about it just looks wrong, but it looks fine here. Like, he obviously has like a really big head, but here it's just like, I don't know, like a bit too big, you know, like a bit too gigantic, but that's just me. I'd like to know what you think about the basically like the implications and what Daima is going to bring for Dragon Ball Legends. Let me know in the comment section down below. Let me know if you're excited to see Goku mini released in Dragon Ball Legends because I think it's going to be interesting. I think it's going to be a bit fun. Like, it really depends on how they design the character. But yeah, let me know it down below in the comment section. Don't forget to leave a like if you enjoyed this short discussion. This is my first time ever talking about Dragon Ball Daima on the channel because I don't really talk about like anything outside of the games, but now that they've already looped in Goku Mini, I obviously need to talk about Dragon Ball Daima as a whole, or like not necessarily as a whole, but just in general, to kind of talk about the general effects that it may have on Dragon Ball Legends, the new characters that we may see in the future, and what kind of possible releases that we may get as a result of Daima showing up. And with each new episode, it'll be interesting to see how they kind of introduce the characters or put the characters in the game as the show releases, as each episode releases and the show progresses. It'll be interesting to see how they put the characters in, and just generally how they're going to process these characters and put them in the game. But yeah, leave a like on the video if you did enjoy it. If you didn't, don't forget to leave a dislike just to make sure that I know that this video was kind of a miss. On top of that, subscribe to make sure that you're notified whenever I drop a new video. I'm going to be going on break, and I won't be uploading a video for a while, so in like a few days. So basically, subscribe to make sure that you're notified whenever I come back. And yeah, I think that's going to do it for this video. Bye, thanks for watching.